I've seen a lot of terrible defenses for this game, and before you go hunting any up, here's all of them summarized. Bad thing didn't personally bother me, therefore, bad thing isn't bad, and if you were bothered by it, then there's something wrong with you, because the game can never be wrong. That's it translated, but in its native simp, one of the most common versions of that exact statement had something to do with Fee. Yes, apparently, it's the unpopular opinion to find this unacceptable. If you ask a real Zelda fan why they think Skyward Sword is good, they'll give you a vague, incomplete answer. And if you press any further than that, then the answers stop coming. Apparently, liking Fee is something that should come so naturally to everyone that if you dare to suggest that you don't, you'll only get downvotes instead of answers. Neryl said the following about Fee.
Even if you found Fi annoying in the game, it's hard not to feel a sense of sadness watching your character effectively die.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm living proof that that isn't exactly true. If you're looking for the reason that I hate this character so much, then I can tell you that the first and most obvious reason is just that, the first and most obvious thing you could think of. Her endless, annoying, repeating, patronizing tutorials that never stop until the credits roll, and if you go into hero mode, then even that won't stop them. I had the same thought each and every time this character, if I can even call her that, was removed from the screen. I hope I never see you again. Only, when I say something like that, I mean it. And I'm not the only one who failed to feel even the slightest twinge of sadness upon seeing Fee die. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Matthew Matosis thought it was a fucking joke! He seemed to find the whole scenario hilarious.
To be honest, the best thing about this is knowing that Fi is trapped in there in the other games, unable to speak. She must be dying after all this time. It also adds an upside to mistakenly slamming the sword against the wall as well. It's good to know she's in there.
That isn't the only reason, of course. Her mere existence was enough to send me into a rage. A rage that only a person who spent the past several months studying Zelda lore in preparation for this game only to see it all retconned could be sent into. But let's pretend for a second that I didn't hate her. Let's also pretend that people claiming this shit was well written didn't make me lose all my hope and faith in humanity. Because, if I'm being honest, even if she wasn't a walking, talking parody of all of the worst aspects of Link's companions combined, even if she didn't inject the series with that stupid sci-fantasy trope that has been plaguing games like Final Fantasy since their inception like a virus and needs to die, and even if she didn't imply that the Master Sword and fairies were actually robots, fuck you for that, Nintendo, then I still likely wouldn't have felt anything upon watching her die. Chalk this up to me being too genre savvy if you absolutely must, but it's kind of hard to feel sad for a character whose death you can see coming from a mile away. What do we have here? A new character added in this prequel, a robot who lives in the Master Sword. We've never seen a robot that lives in the Master Sword in any games released prior to this. I wonder what'll happen to her. I fucking wonder, Skyward Sword. More specifically, when the not Master Sword became the Master Sword, the pieces clicked and I asked, how's Nintendo gonna kill you? Nintendo had certainly given me no reason to like this character, and as if they thought that wouldn't be enough, they also decided to remove any reason to care. I had the advantage, you see, of having played other Zelda games before this one, so I knew that my request, I hope I never see you again, would be granted one way or the other by the time the game ended. And granting that request was the only good thing to come out of this game's shitty fucking ending. Speaking of this game's shitty fucking ending, was it that shitty? Let's take a look. After all, even if they couldn't make her death a surprise, they could have at least made it well written, right? She pops out of your sword one last time, claims to have had character development, news to me, and then she dies.
Good.
And it's just so repulsively manipulative. The sappy music swells and Fee talks about how she now knows how to feel emotions. They couldn't make the character likable, so they pulled the absolute most disgusting shit. They just tell you that something sad is happening and that you need to feel sad about it. If you felt even a little sad watching Fi effectively die, you were fucking duped. By telling you that this emotionless robot learned to feel right as it died, they effectively pretend that the moment is sad without putting in the effort to actually make it sad. They just said that the moment is sad and expected everyone to buy it. Judging by the fact that my attempts to give criticism to a game that desperately needs it have effectively kicked me out of this fandom, everyone did. Fuck you, Skyward Sword.